Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jen Trepic, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries. This week, we're talking about 30 seconds a day. And you're probably thinking, right? What does this even mean? What is actually meaningful that can happen in 30 seconds a day? What if I told you you can reprogram your brain to be healthier by committing to doing something for 30 seconds a day? Okay, to get to this, I'm combining two different research studies. The first one I want to talk about is the more recent one. So this one was published in early 2022 in the Journal of Science Advances. And the study came out of UC Berkeley. The senior author on it is David Whitney, who's a UC Berkeley professor of psychology, neuroscience, and vision science. So in this study, they were looking at how our brains process visual changes. Some call this change blindness, but it's basically what happens when we don't notice subtle changes, like the difference between an actor and their stunt double, right? So in the study, they had 100 participants. They each viewed close-ups of faces that were morphing according to ages or gender in a 30-second time lapse. Now, they only saw eyes, eyebrows, nose, mouth, and chin. Oh, and cheeks. So they didn't get any cues from hair color or hairlines that would often tell us more information. So then after viewing the time-lapse video, participants had to identify the face that they saw. Almost consistently, participants picked a frame that was from the halfway point of the 30-second video, not the final one, right? So that would have been the most updated image if they had chosen the final one. Instead, they chose one that was about halfway through at the 15-second mark. So what the researchers concluded is that while our brains are constantly accepting input from our eyes, we're actually seeing things on a 15-second delay. So our brains are not constantly fully updating to what our eyes perceive. So this seems to be part of the brain's mechanism of what's called continuity field, where the brain merges what we see to give us a sense of visual stability. So the researchers concluded that this 15-second delay can have both positive and negative impacts. On the negative side, they talked about how it could result in sort of a life or death situation, like in a surgery where a split-second decision might be critical. I think of it more like a car accident, or that this could impact reaction time. So then on the positive side, though, they talk about it in terms of helping us prevent overwhelm from all the visual input that we experience every day. So think like scrolling on social media, right? So in my mind, here's what happened. I heard this study, and it made me think of another piece of brain science that I remember learning about a few years ago. So I read a book that's called Hardwiring Happiness: The New Brain Science of Contentment, Calm, and Confidence by Rick Hanson, PhD. So in that book, he talks about how the brain is hardwired for the negative. We know this, right? But essentially, our survival mechanism is such that, I'm just going to quote him here. He says, the brain evolved a negativity bias that makes Velcro for bad experiences, but Teflon for good ones. It's like bad experiences in order to survive and make quick decisions and prevent them from happening again. The bad experiences almost get marked with this giant flag that says, this is important, right? So for our memory, the brain doesn't naturally do this with positive experiences. So in his book and other research too, a lot of experts say it takes 5 positive experiences for every 1 negative one for our brain in order to change an association. So here's the deal, and this is where my head went. Rick Hanson in his book suggests we can feel happier if we intentionally take a positive experience and mentally, intentionally plant that this is important flag on that positive thing. So he says that doing this over time, the brain then adapts to a state of happiness. And if we add to this that the brain is visually delayed from that other study, the more recent one in 2022, right? It means that we need to pause. We have to look at that thing for a moment that's making us happy. Visualize that this is important flag for 15 seconds at least. And we want to do this repeatedly, but it seems to me if we can do this once or twice a day, taking all of 30 seconds, we can reprogram our minds to be happier. And that, of course, translates into healthier overall. Now, according to Harvard, the brain is programmed by age 25. So for those of us beyond that, it probably will take us some time and consistency to get there. But I think we can find 30 seconds a day, and I think it's well worth it. All right, we did it. That was another Nutrition Nugget bonus episode celebrating 5 years of salad with a side of fries. I couldn't be more grateful for you tuning in. Truly, you have made these 5 years an absolute dream come true. As always, I'm your host, Jen Trepeck. Connect with me on Instagram or all social media. I'm at Jen Trepeck, JenNTrepeck. Website is asaladwithasideoffries.com. Pick your platform, send a message. Hearing from you is the best part of my day. So send over your takeaways, your ideas, your questions. This is also the easiest way to learn more about working with me as your health coach. And thank you again to everybody who joined us live in New York City. It was an absolutely magical night. And of course, if you're not already, join our membership program by going to glow.fm/salad with a side of fries. This shows your support for this podcast, this community, and most importantly, it supports your health. You'll get this week's recipe for the grilled shrimp with spicy slaw. Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform. Share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it, and you are worth it. Happy healthy.